I just happened to get a text
Oh,
from this girl who ghosted me 2 months ago.
Just now?
and what does the text say?
This is live development, folks.
She's like, if I have any plans for the long weekend.
Wait,
It's already Saturday.
Have you met up with her before,
No,
Alex?
no.
So this is your chance.
Like the weekend has already started and she's asking you what your plans are for the long weekend.
She wants a booty call.
Maybe the guy she wanted to go out with is not calling back, so...
This is your chance to say, I'm going to coffee with you. See, you gotta make those, you gotta be like, just do it.
Hi, everyone. This is another episode of I Hate Dating Apps. I'm Daniel.
And I am Jinah. And in this episode, we're going to talk about your and my favorite topic, which is, the pen pals. The pen pals that write endlessly. And when you say, I am done with a pen pal, I didn't sign up for a pen pal, I'm going to ditch the pen pal. And anybody who's on a dating app knows what I'm talking about. You get into this cycle where all you're doing is talking and there's not a lot of asking out. And as a woman, it gets ultra confusing because we tend to kind of like not want to be that girl that's asking the guy out. And so we're like...
So it's not just texting. Sometimes it's actually talking over the phone as well. And that goes on endlessly before you meet in person.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've had a situation where, I mean, it's mostly when we're just texting through the app that just goes on and on and on and on. And it's like, 7 exchanges later, why aren't we meeting up? But I have also gone to where I've met them on video chat and then they're like, I really enjoyed talking to you. And you're like, and then like nothing happens. And then eventually I just go, there's a point at which I go, I'm just gonna unmatch with you, and most of the time, because I am who I am, I give them the courtesy of, I love our conversations, but I would love to see you in person. And then if they still don't take that bait, I just feel like I owe them no more explanation, and then I'll just unmatch with them.
Probably wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to waste your time.
And I've had a lot of experiences, but I'm going to bring my guests in at this point because this is such a hot topic. And I have my good friend Kari joining me from Hawaii. Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, Kari.
Aloha, good morning.
Aloha.
Aloha.
And we have Alex joining us, who is Daniel's friend.
Yes. But we try not to make that very public, though.
Oh.
Well, at least Alex doesn't. He doesn't advertise.
I want to say
it as my friend.
hello too because I want to be in Hawaii with Kari.
Yes.
I know.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do.
We all want to be in Hawaii with Kari. But if you guys could briefly introduce yourselves and what you do and what apps you're on, that would be great. Let's start with ladies first.
Hi, my name is Kari. I live in Honolulu. I'm a multiple business owner, stay pretty active in business in itself. And at the moment, I kind of go back and forth with Tinder. I kind of turn it off and turn it on because it gets really like bleh. But definitely Hinge and Bumble, which both being on an island is very challenging. I get to the end of the whole, it's like you have no more people on the island. So, then I have to turn it off for a while and then I turn it back on. But those tend to be the three main ones at the moment.
Which also happen to be the 3 most popular apps. Yep.
Yeah.
How about you, Alex?
My name is Alex. I live in La Mirada, Southern California. I've been on dating app for about, I guess, good 5 years, but I was off of it for about 2-3 years in between. And I use Coffee Meets Bagel and Hinge.
I've never tried Coffee Meets Bagel.
You should try.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, look at the quality of men.
Because Alex is on it, clearly.
yeah. I'm on Hinge too, so maybe you should try Hinge too.
No, I am on Hinge. I'm on Hinge.
Oh, you are?
I'm on Bumble. Yeah, those are the 2
okay.
favorites for me. I was on Tinder. I was on the paying Tinder for 6 months, like Kari. And then, as Kari and I can attest, Tinder does still, even though they try to get away from the stereotype, Tinder attracts a certain crowd.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Oh, and I just can't anymore.
That's the weekend hookup. That's kind of just the weekend hookup app. So that's the travel. Oh, what do I want to do tonight? I don't want to hang out at my hotel by myself. What's on Tinder for the night?
I hate to say it, but that is absolutely true.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know most of the guys on Tinder are probably not like that. It's just on Tinder's the only place where I'll find, like a smattering of profiles just from the neck down. And they're not wearing anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, I do not see that on Bumble. I do not see that on
Yeah,
Hinge.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Tinder. So then I just leave.
And if you ever if they ever showed up to a date, they would have like this brown bag over their heads.
Yeah,
like,
I'd be like, I don't know what you look like. Can you take off your clothes? Because
right, exactly. It's like, sorry, I can't recognize you with your clothes on.
yeah, you should get undressed because how do I know who you are? Yeah.
But don't women have the same maybe expectation or impression of the other apps too? Like a lot of other guys will be on the other apps doing the same thing. No, I wouldn't know because I don't do it.
I have not had a neck down naked photo
Oh,
on
I see,
Bumble.
I see.
And I've never had a neck down naked photo on Hinge.
I see.
But I do see a lot of those on Tinder.
On Tinder, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Tinder's like
So-
the new Craigslist, like what was that connection? What was that? Missed encounters or
Yes.
quick encounters or something that was on Craigslist.
Oh my God, are they still around?
I mean Craigslist is around, but I think they took that tab off a while ago. But casual encounters, that's what it was. That's the new
Casual
Tinder.
encounters.
Oh.
Craigslist casual encounters.
Yeah.
Now they have all kinds of other apps for casual encounters.
Yeah.
They don't even need to go to Craigslist. Craigslist would be like super ghetto. Like, I just need somebody in the next 5 minutes. And in about 15 minutes, I want to be driving away. That might be Craigslist right now at this
Oh.
point.
I should try later.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Oh my God. See, Carrie and I swipe left on the likes of you. Just kidding.
Of course, we don't present ourselves like that on the dating apps.
You're
right?
not like that, right, Alex?
Right,
Yeah, you're
definitely
just
not.
pretending to be.
I'm just pretending, yes.
Yes. That's we get that abundantly. So I want to get your thoughts on. My experience on as far as the pen pal thing is concerned is it runs the gamut from the majority, as Carrie and I can testify to, which is that they don't talk enough, and they don't ever ask you a question, and they don't ever want to text enough, and then at some point when you're like, hey, how's your day going, they ghost you. And I know that happens for men as well. So that's the majority of our experiences. And then there's the others where I had a guy who was a writer. That was his profession. And he would write the most beautiful, almost sonnet-like, exchanges with me. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. But then 10 exchanges in, you're like, do you at some point become a real person? Like, this can't possibly be the way that you talk. And then I'm very much, one of my love languages is one of my top love languages. In fact, my second one is words of affirmation. So I'm very much a word person. I'm an English literature major. Words like they make me swoon. So I respond to words. And for me, I would have to say the sweet spot is if I can get a sense of their personality. So after a few days, I'm getting a pretty good sense of who they are, how they write, and my personality. I've been told by my dates that my personality pops pretty quickly just from the way I write. And of course, I have an advantage in that I was an English literature major, and I tend to be a good writer. And then after that, I really do fall for them based on their words. And then when we meet, half the time, I find that that's not who they are. And then I'm just...
They're probably using AI to help them write. That's what's happening now.
Hell yeah. Nowadays, right? They're like,
They're typing
oh,
it in, and there's
shit.
a little AI button, and they're like, "Oh, here, let me fix this." And then you see them in person, you're like, "Wait, who are you? What's happening here?"
Yeah, they used to have movies, remember? Where the dumb shit
Cyrano
guy...
de Bergerac, right?
Cyrano.
And
Yeah.
they would go out on the date, and then somebody would be
Yeah.
whispering in their ear, and they say it, and then the woman's like, and so words are powerful.
That's probably why that happens, is because a lot of these guys have Cyrano writing all of their texts.
It's called Google AI or ChatGPT.
Yep.
So anyway, that's been my experience. I also have a sweet spot for when I've had enough of your words. Let's now go out. And then, I want to hear about you guys and your experience.
I mean, it's so all over the place, right? But I what I what I tend to think, anyways, is that when people are just texting back and forth, like they're in a very safe space, and I think there's just a lot of men who are they just want to be safe. They want a connection which they can find like in texting back and forth. To them, it's some sort of a connection. But then when it's like, okay, are we going to meet up? And then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Now it becomes a little bit too real. So I think it allows a lot of men to just really stay in a very safe, hidden space that they can pretend, oh, I'm chatting with this person, but they really don't have to give up any vulnerability in like, because what you put in writing and what you put forth in a a genuine conversation are completely two different things.
Yep.
And so I think that's kind of that's normally what I see. It's either that, or then you have like the men who are actually in relationships that are committed and they just need like, again, another emotional connection that they may not be getting with their physical relationship. And so they come to the apps to, fulfill some type of a different type of an emotional connection. And that's why it never evolves into anything else, because they already have, a physical connection with somebody else.
Actually, that's it's great, Kari, saying that, because I was looking into this, doing a little Google research, and there were some relationship therapists and people like top 5 reasons why people do that, like pen pal, for days and days, and 2 of them was that. One was insecurity, so
Yep.
they don't want to leave that comfort zone of just texting, because as long as you don't meet in person, disappoint that person, there's no rejection, right?
Yeah.
So you just want to maintain that, and that's good. And the other one was either people who are cheating on their spouses, like literally cheating, or there's something lacking in their relationship, and so they try to seek it by texting, women. It's like sort of an emotional connection. So
Yeah.
those are 2 of
Or
the
they
top
could be a
yeah.
catfish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's always
Well,
that.
in my case, I'll say it's what you mentioned earlier, insecurity. Not because I'm insecure, but I'm just tired of being disappointed. Like when you go out and meet the person, that person is not what the profile says.
That happens a lot, Alex?
A lot, yeah.
Oh, like what? Like they're not
The
interesting?
the main thing is the age. They post pictures of like
Oh,
5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm
How dare
57.
they age?
I'm
well,
57. And I tried to go with maybe between 40 and 50 age group.
Yeah.
So the person posted a picture from when she was 40.
And she's now 50.
She's now 50. Yeah. I knew her age, but the picture was from 40.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a
So
guest in one of our podcasts who said like, oh, when I met him, he was the picture was 15 years and 20 pounds ago.
Yeah, 15
He
years
had
ago.
aged and gained weight.
I mean,
So
that's a
it's
commonality. Like you're seeing, like people. I see, anyways, really often men that are posting these younger ages, like significantly 12, 15 years of their normal age. And just looking at the picture, I'm like, dude, you are definitely not 42 years old, like or 35, right? Like
Yeah.
that was 20 years ago. Like, come on. But they're trying to, right? They're manipulating the algorithm so that way they're seeing like the younger crowds and whatnot. But again, and so that's the thing, is if they are insecure about the fact that they've lied about that, then they're just going to keep talking. And again,
Right.
you're feeling that emotional
Yeah.
connection. And for some people, that's really all that that again gives them enough effort, because they really don't want to exude like real effort, but an emotional effort in the texting back and forth, it satisfies what it is that they need.
That makes sense. But Alex, you were saying that because not out of insecurity of your own, but because you have been burned so many times where
Yeah.
people are not what they present. So
Yeah.
does that mean that you text with them longer to try and kind of figure out if they really are who they say they
No,
are?
I try not to text longer than maybe a week. I think that's enough for me to
Yeah.
exchange. I mean, for me to have a gauge of what kind of person that is. But it's just doesn't happen.
So okay.
They tend to like delay or the
Oh, they're delaying.
ghost me and stuff. I have no. I mean, I will go out and meet. I'm not a I'm not one of those like neck down picture guys, but I'll be nice, take them to a decent restaurant and have a decent conversation to really get to know the person. But a lot of time it's them who keeps on delaying.
Yeah.
In my case, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I almost 100% of the time they're delaying because they're playing the field. In my experience, right? And men do that with me as well, and I know immediately what's happening. They are matching with some other girl. They're trying to see if that conversation gets going before they have to make an investment of their time and presumably, funds to take me out. They want to try to see what else they can get, And so when women are doing that, Alex, almost 100% of the time, they're playing the field and they're like, well, I could go out with Alex, but I'm also talking with Craig. Should I see if maybe Craig asks me out first? So they just delay. And then the momentum, there is such a thing as momentum on the apps. Sometimes, my goodness, you're all hot and heavy, but then somebody will be like, hey, I'm going on vacation. I'll be back in a week. And then the momentum, that week-long absence, it's like the craziest thing. You're not a different person. I'm not a different person. But for some reason, because that ball stopped rolling, the interest just wanes. And it's like the craziest thing. And it's the only thing, I've only ever encountered this on the apps where like the absence of not talking for 3 days to a week will just bring everything to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
So, vacations might be a possibility, but if the chances are that they have a phone on their vacation and they could probably text you from the vacation. So if they're ghosting you, it's because they're playing the field. That's my 2 cents.
But can't you do that after you meet in person too?
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think, right? But I mean, like,
Just
we get
because-
it too.
yeah.
Women get it
Yeah.
too. We're just like, well, are we going to go out? And
Yeah.
then it just comes to a dead end. And we're like, why not try at least going out? And that's because, Kari, I think based on a couple of other episodes that we've done, I think we solved it. I think you and I are going after the most eligible bachelors on, online, and they have their pick of women, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're getting the same treatment where they're playing us to see if they get somebody better than Jinah, to see if they get somebody better than Kari. Meanwhile, there's like all these other men who would love to take us out, but we're like, but Brad Pitt and I just matched. Well, I'm going to give that guy a chance. Why isn't he writing me back? So vicious cycle over and over again.
I mean, the thing is, though, it's like sometimes, like you said earlier, right? Like if we're waiting for the guy to kind of like make that, like, hey, let's go out on a date. Like I've been told many times, like, stop driving the bus. But I'm a bus driver. Like that's what I do. I own multiple businesses. I get shit done. And so I'm just like, dude, what are we doing? Are we going to meet up? We're not going to meet up. But like the one time I'm like, okay, I'm not going to drive the bus. I'm going to be patient and whatever. And this guy was just like, it was back and forth. And finally I was like, you know what? It wasn't even like, how was your day? It was like, hey, I'm like, hey, like, are we in 3rd grade? Hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? And then finally, I just kind of like stopped responding. And he's like, oh, I guess you're like every typical woman on here. You just stop responding. And I said, look, dude, if you want to meet up, make a plan. Like, if you want to do something, make a plan. I will be there.
Yep.
But don't just sit there and say, hey, every day, hey, and expect somebody to be like, oh, how can I help you today? How was your day? Like, it gets so ridiculously,
So old.
like, boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what their hang up is. Now with me, I tend to be perfectly okay with driving the bus. Like Kari, I own a couple of businesses. We are very comfortable driving around. So, and I have to say, whenever I have made the initiative, like I'm going on date number 2 with somebody tomorrow, and the first one was kind of because of me. Like we matched. It happened really quickly. Like it was a couple weeks ago. We matched, and I was like, "Oh, hey, you're cute," and "Oh my God, that's super funny what you wrote on your blah blah blah." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, you too," and something. And with me, I have a son, and that night I happened to not have my son. So I was kind of motivated, shall I say, to see
Sure.
if maybe the date could happen that night. And so I was like, oh, so it's kind of hot. Want to grab some ice cream? So I kind of went like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, would love to grab ice cream, you know, but then we ended up going out for drinks. And then he told me during the date and then afterwards how refreshing it was that I made the first move. And he just like kept raving about it. I'm like, bro, I asked you if you wanted ice cream. Like, it's not like I went down on one knee and said, will you please go out on a date with me? You know, but he was so blown away by that little tiny gesture that I didn't go pen paling it, that I
Yeah.
actually made the first move. And he was so super impressed that I was like, maybe I should be doing more of that. I don't know.
You see how easy it is
I
to
think you
please
should.
men?
Is it easy to please men?
You see,
Alex,
it's like, yeah.
Alex, what do you
Yes, it
think? Do
is.
I ask you out? Do you want a woman to ask you out if we're pen paling back and forth?
Yeah, of course. Not ask me out, but at least give some crumbs saying that, hey, you know, I'm waiting for you to ask me out.
That's not a
That
crumb.
will make us much.
No, that's kind of in your face.
That will make us much easier to like make the first move. Definitely,
But
yeah.
but isn't it implied in the fact that all of like, you know, if you're on dating apps, you are there to date. So why does there have to be an explicit understanding that you want to go out? Like if you, so I'm not understanding the dynamic. So you're on the dating
Isn't
app.
that what we're talking about here?
I
Why
know.
are some people on the dating app and just want to pen pal? Yeah.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's a kind of.
And I'll tell you why. I actually went out on a date. I actually dated for a while with a guy, and you know about him, where he was a massive introvert, and introvert with a capital I and a capital N. Okay. And and he loved the banter. He loved the connection. Never wanted to talk on the phone. Just like Kari was saying, got a lot of satisfaction out of just being able to have banter with a woman. Good night, good morning, how are you, beautiful? You know, really just got a rise out of that. And then when it actually came time to meet, and when we would meet in person, it was Dr. Jekyll. I was like, where's Mr. Hyde? You know?
Yeah.
And Dr. Jekyll was not comfortable with the interaction as it was happening on the text side. So I think that's another reason why a lot of
So he
people
was
are
more
massive introverts.
And so he was a
Yeah.
lot more expressive when he was texting.
Oh yeah. And when we were in person, he was like this. And like hardly any like ability to
You guys should have sat at the date and he should have texted you on your phone.
I literally joked about that one time. I'm like, would you prefer to go to another table and text me? Like,
no, you can go to the same table and then you just have to
what's
look down and text you.
going on? And you know,
It's like, Jinah, you're looking ravishing today.
I know. How was your dinner?
Men can be whoever they want to be when they're texting, right? So there's like a Savage Garden song like from way back in the day, and it talks about, you know, on the phone you can be Norman Mailer, like you can be whoever you want behind the scenes. And I think that's something like with the endless texting and the endless, you know, banter back and forth, is that they can be whoever they are. So like in your situation, you're talking about this man who's very introverted. And so on paper and behind the scenes, maybe that's his safe space where he can become
Yes.
more of an extroverted person. But then all of a sudden, you know, that's not reality, right? So now reality comes to front, and now he's like, holy shit, you know, and I'm shutting back down, and he's a completely different person. But a lot of that again comes from, you know, who was he as he's growing up? Like, has that always been a scenario? And is that something that they can come out of, right? Like, will he eventually be able to feel safe enough with you? And maybe that's something that you build in these, like, you know, endless text conversations. And are you willing to wait for that? You know, is that person, you know, providing you
Right.
enough emotional feedback that you are willing to wait for that? Or you're like, fuck no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, this is just a waste of my time because
Exactly.
I got other shit to do, and it's not to, you know, cater to your emotional growth.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened actually. You know, his writing was so beautiful and the things that he was saying was so beautiful. And you know, I do believe that he is a beautiful, wonderful person.
Yeah.
But it's just like in person, none of that translated. So I turned into super frustrated, Jinah, every time we would see each other in person. And see, now what that does is it gives him the feedback that when you get with the woman in person, this is what happens. And so he
Yeah.
retreats further into his turtle shell. And he's like,
Yeah.
see, I only wanted to be pen pal for a reason. And she just confirmed it. So
Yeah.
he's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but hopefully, he'll get therapy and understand that that's very much a him problem. But there are so many people that I encounter just in life, not even on the dating apps, whose social batteries are about the size of my finger, and it
Well,
drains so quickly that
yeah.
they can't with the in-person stuff.
And it's getting worse, I think.
think
Like,
it's
I think you're
better.
seeing that more and more. I think that we're going to start seeing that even more and more, where it's all,
Yes.
it's so social media like driven, and the dating apps are just another form of social media, right? And so
Yes.
It is,
you're
yeah.
starting to lose a lot of the personal connections. And so then when you are meeting people in person, like, people are like, particularly younger, they're not prepared to how to deal with things in person. They don't really
Yes.
know. And so even like the proper amount of therapy, like, what are they going to learn in therapy? They don't have this physical interaction because they're so used to everything being via text, via social media,
Yes.
via instant messenger.
Yes, 100%.
I think we all grew up at an age where we have to actually call and you
Yeah.
know, set up dates and set up location to meet and stuff. So I'm not really good at text. Whenever I exchange text with, matches, I guess they get bored. I don't do that. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I think you're fantastic. Whatever. I just talk casual conversation.
How's that working for you, Alex?
It's not. I'm still on the.
I mean,
Oh.
Alex,
But once they meet me, they could see the real me.
Yeah.
yeah, but that goes
And in
to
person,
love.
he's a total Casanova.
Oh, is it?
Whatever.
He's like, oh.
No, and it's more comfortable. I feel comfortable, so I guess the person becomes comfortable too. I get to read the expression on their faces. Sometimes you could say one word, and I could read it differently on a text.
Sure.
But when I'm meeting in person, I could get the real meaning behind the word most of the time, right? So it's easier in person. For me, at least it's easier. Yeah.
I have a lot of things I want to say to that.
Oh,
I don't
never.
know. I know,
Get
right?
out of
Oh,
here.
Jinah with
Gina has a
opinions?
lot to say.
What?
Never
Well,
heard that
I want to
before.
hear what Kari has to say about what Alex just said.
I mean, you have to get to that point, right? I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday. I said, when people initially like meet me there, they think kind of I'm a bit of an asshole, which I'm not. I'm just, again, I'm a bus
Why
driver.
would they
I got a lot of
say
shit
that?
going on.
Why would no?
And so, yeah, if you get to the point where you're actually like meeting somebody, then yeah, there's that physical connection where you can actually talk with somebody. You're seeing their expressions. You're seeing, like, are they talking to you? Are they looking away? Are they constantly checking down at their phone? Right. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
like a big difference, but you've got to get to that point. Right. And so many, and maybe it's not just, men, maybe women are doing the same thing, but I would say out of every 50 matches, I've met up like 2 times, maybe 3
Ooh.
times. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, and because it just gets to the point. I have this guy right now where it's like the craziest thing. He will connect and will like, oh, hey, look, you're back. And then he disappears. And it's an unmatched. And then 2 weeks later, there's like, oh, Ryan likes you. And I'm like, what is this dude's thing? So finally, like last week, I was like, oh, look, you're back. Like, what's your deal? And he's like, oh, I'm tired of the games. I'm like, but you are the game, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you are the one.
You're playing the
who
game.
is match, unmatched. Hey, what's up? I'm like, what's up? Or you want to grab a coffee? You want to like see what's going on? Ghost, crickets. And then he's unmatched, rematch again. I'm like, you are the game. You are the whole freaking problem.
You're the problem.
Yes.
You're the problem. It's you, like Taylor Swift said. Yeah. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead.
It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com.
I had a very similar situation. Like a couple weeks ago, I matched with the guy that I had matched with Bumble when I first downloaded the app. Like, so 2 years ago, I matched with this super hot, Asian guy, chef at a Four Seasons restaurant, like looked gorgeous. And we had kind of met inadvertently because I actually went to eat there and happened to see him, and he saw me, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, he's hot. And then, he's like,
you had already seen him on the dating app, or this is before?
I had matched with him on the dating apps on Bumble like 2 years ago. And
you
then
guys
he
never
goes,
met up.
And then we never met up.
Oh, okay.
But then he told me where he worked. And one of my dates with another guy took me to the Four Seasons.
But so did you remember him from the 2 years ago though, or was it?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Of course she did. She said he was hot.
He's hot. He's a hot, tall, buff, Chinese
Chef.
guy. Yeah, chef at the
Chef,
Four
yeah.
Seasons. And so I remember locking eyes with him, and I had told him, like, I'm actually going on a date there this weekend. And he's like, oh, I'm working this weekend. I'm going to check you out. And I'm like, okay. So like I was at the date, and it was like weird because like this dude would walk by and like just stare at me and everything. And then I thought, surely after that, we're going to go out, right? Never asked me out. And then like, 2 months ago or something, I'm on Hinge and it's him. And he liked me. So I'm like,
See?
oh my God, it's you. It's you from 2 years ago, but now on Hinge. And he goes, I have been looking for you and you popped up on my feed. And I was like, I'm going to take this girl out. And I'm like, let's go. Never asked me out. Never asked me out. Once again, I gave him 2 fucking weeks to ask me out on the app. Usually I don't wait that long. And then when he still had not asked me out, he was like, oh, I'm getting my schedule in a few days and then I'll get back to you. And the motherfucker had my phone number too, by the way. I'm like, here's my
Well, that's what I was just
number.
gonna ask. Wait a minute. If from 2 years ago you still had communication, so you had text, you had your text,
Yeah.
you had your phone.
He had my phone number so I was like, here's my phone number. When we matched on Hinge like a couple months ago, I was like, here's my phone number. And he goes, no, I had your number. And I was like, the
Oh.
fuck? Why are you relying on Hinge to ask to communicate with me when you had my phone number this whole time? So that was like a seriously, like, he's probably an introvert with an I and an N capitalized.
Yeah.
And he probably just can't. Failure to launch. That's what I call him. Failure to launch.
I mean, but then again, that's the thing, right? That I guess like that kind of says like from the beginning, like, yeah, maybe he's hot, he's everything, whatever, but he's just not your people because he's not going to be able to give you that emotional connection that you're eventually really going to
Yeah, but
need.
who's okay with that? Who's okay with somebody just haunting you on the apps
No,
and like never being asked out?
Absolutely.
Not one person that I know.
Yeah, no, that's.
He needs to meet the other guy
It's
that-
weird.
yeah.
It's weird behavior. I don't know why. You
Okay,
would go through all that trouble.
I just happened to get a text
Oh,
from this girl who ghosted me 2 months ago.
Just,
oh, just now?
just now?
Like in the beginning of the
Yeah.
the recording.
And what does the
I
text
didn't want to
say?
say any.
Yeah.
It's-
Very timely.
I know, perfect timing. Hold on.
Whoa.
I'm just gonna. Yeah.
This is live development, folks.
I know. It's like
police chase
hey,
unfolding.
oh, she's like, if I have any plans for the long weekend.
Wait, have
It's
you
already
met
Saturday.
up with her before,
No,
Alex?
no,
No.
no.
So this is your chance.
Oh,
This is your chance. Yeah.
No, wait.
having
She's
fun
asking.
with you.
She's asking you. Like the weekend has already started. And she's asking you what your plans are for the long weekend.
She wants a booty call.
yeah. Maybe her plans, didn't. It's not happening. So maybe the guy she wanted to go out with is not calling back.
Who
so-
cares? This is your chance.
I'm just
to say,
saying.
I'm going to coffee with you. See, you gotta make those. You gotta be like, just do it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't-
after the record,
Oh,
after this.
Alex is
No,
like,
seriously,
I gotta go now.
I gotta go. Seriously.
No, I don't know that
No.
I'm in Carrie's camp just because like then he's the backup, you know?
Well, hold on. Like this is.
I mean, we're
He's just,
assuming.
we're assuming a lot here. He's just speculating. Now, by the way, I think the other guy that broke up that broke up the plans is the chef from the Four Seasons.
Probably.
It makes perfect sense. Like all of this makes perfect sense. I feel it in my gut that that's exactly what's happening.
Alex, she ghosted you a few years ago?
No, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Oh. No,
Like-
But I
So,
think
like-
I think
she needs her ego
yeah,
stroked.
yeah, ghosting is a very recurring theme in our podcast when we talk about it, and a lot of it is, it's probably people playing the field. They got different options, so they're like keeping all of these balls up in the air. Part of it is ego. Like who knows? It might be like there are a dozen different reasons why ghosting happens, but it's so common. I'm with Kari because at this point we just don't know. It could be that she's playing the field. But what does it matter though? If you have an opportunity to go out, and find out, then might as well go out and find
Yeah.
out. At least that way you'll know for sure, right? And if she doesn't show up, like this guy did, the Four Seasons chef, then you know that he's probably a crazy person. So next time, don't even respond.
I mean, the thing is like you're not wasting anything on just to meet up with
Exactly.
coffee unless you have
Yeah.
these
Except
crazy plans
$80.
yourself.
Oh, coffee. Okay, yeah. Not dinner. Coffee.
Where do you
yeah.
have coffee?
I know. No,
I mean-
no. I was thinking dinner.
She made coffee after dinner. The expensive dinner.
Oh.
Well,
No, dinner's like, well,
I mean, that's
in
a
LA, you
totally
can't even have
different
dinner for
scenario.
$80.
yeah,
for two
80
people.
bucks is like McDonald's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sorry, Carrie, you were saying
no,
something.
I said that is. I just feel like if there's an opportunity to just get out of the house, go meet up with somebody, you never know. Like it could be not a romantic connection, but it could be like a pretty cool connection for who knows what in the future. But at least
yeah,
you're getting
definitely.
out. You're able to work on your skills of meeting somebody in person, which is still, I think it's a skill that like you're consistently always evolving with, right? And you're getting away from being behind the computer, being behind the text messages, and you're physically being in front of somebody. Even if they're not going to be anybody that eventually turns into anything else, at least you're out of the house and you're not in front of behind the computer anymore or your text
Carrie,
messages.
would you go out with somebody that ghosted you a couple months ago? If he was like, "What are
I
you
mean, I
doing
guess it
for this
depends,
long
like
weekend?"
how in depth of these conversations were we having, right?
That's
I mean,
true.
like it was somebody
Yeah.
that we were having a lot of conversations, and I thought maybe it was going to go somewhere, and then I didn't hear from them for a while. I probably would just block them anyway. So then, if they reached out to me on a phone, I'd probably be like, "Who's this?" Who's texting me, right? But I think if it's just like it was a "Hey, what's up?" and then a "Hey, what's up?" and then "Oh, I haven't heard from you in a while. What have you been up to? Do you want to grab a coffee?" If I don't have anything going on, like, sure, let me get a reason to get out of the house. Like, I'm not going to lose anything by going and having a coffee with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this points all to how Carrie is not all about the pen pal. Like, let's just go out and
Yeah.
fucking do something. Give me some action already, which I'm all about that as well. But I,
You know what? That could be read very, very differently.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Can I get some action
So I
already?
want to get
yeah.
to action already.
I'm sorry. The first thing that came to my mind when she said action is like, describe action. Please elaborate on it.
I love her. Well, I did want to talk about love languages, speaking of describing action. So to me, the reason why maybe I tolerate pen pals a little bit longer than most people is because I do have a lot of sympathy, first of all, for introverts. I understand that the world is set up for extroverts to succeed. And I understand that when you're putting yourself out there, things come to you a little bit easier. So when you're a massive introvert and you had to work up the guts for a week to take someone like
Yeah.
Carrie out to dinner, I do have a lot of sympathy for that. But I also like it, the kind of banter back and forth before we go out, because words of affirmation are my second love language. So Alex, if you weren't like, "Good morning, beautiful. Oh, I've been thinking about you all day. How's your day going, sweetie?" Like if I didn't get that kind of stuff from you, like it would definitely not sit well with me because words are so important to me. So I would say the pen pal situation, or how you decide to communicate as a primary means of communication, is very much dependent on whether words are important to you, or whether, like, for instance, my number one love language is affection, right? And touch. And so I crave that in-person connection. Do you know what your love languages are, Alex? Not words, I'm assuming.
I'm not. I mean, I'm not like that. I don't believe in using that kind of vocabulary when you
You
first
don't believe
meet.
in. You don't believe in.
Like,
what kind of
hey,
vocabulary?
good
Love
morning,
language?
beautiful. How are you? I don't. It sounds. I don't know. For lack of better
That's just not you.
definition, it's kind of cheesy. In my, if I know you, Gina, if I know you, and then we met up, and then we have some connection, then yeah, I could do that next morning. I could call you and say, hey, I mean, I could text you, hey, good morning, Gina. How are you? How was your night? Did you have a good dream? Definitely, but not before I meet the person.
Wait, did you have a good dream? Is that a line?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Why? Did you
Wait,
dream
so
about
hold
me?
on.
You know?
You're saying that you're saying that you find that kind of language cheesy in the beginning
Before
of
I
the-
know the person.
before you
Yeah,
know the person,
see?
right?
Yeah.
Not ever, right?
Not in the beginning when we're
Gotcha,
just
gotcha,
texting
okay.
each other. Yeah.
No, that also rings cheesy for you, Carrie. See, I eat that stuff up. I
yeah.
eat it up.
I feel like it's disingenuine. Like if you're saying, "Oh, hey, beautiful, how are you?" Like I literally have like an eye roll. Like I'm like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do like words of affirmation is probably one of my top like giving languages. Like but I feel like I don't know. For me, it feels a little disingenuine. Like from the beginning, especially I'm like you don't even know me. Like you don't know me.
Well, but you're beautiful, Carrie.
Yeah, I mean, and
You're
we're not
beautiful.
talking about.
Good morning, beautiful is something that would roll off my tongue if I was saying hi to Carrie. But yeah,
Okay.
I'm a different animal.
so,
I guess.
I mean, I could compliment Carrie on her dress,
yeah,
on her tattoo,
Which is
but that's
beautiful.
genuine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I don't know the person or the personality, I wouldn't go as far as saying those things.
The dynamic that I see also in dating apps or just in general in societies, and we're talking heterosexual gender roles, it's also the general sort of language that you hear when we're talking about, telling people how to behave in relationships stuff. You hear a lot of like you and Carrie, for example. It's like, Alex, if you want to woo a woman, this is what you got to do. And, Alex may agree or disagree with me. In my sense, is that all my life as a man, I've been told this is what you do to attract a woman. This is what a man's got to do.
You
And a lot of
provide.
women tell you, is like, you got to use words like this and you've got to compliment them. You got to. I don't know if women, and again, these are broad strokes, I think women are told you have to be beautiful to be desired. To be desired.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of women are told this is what men need, right? So if you want to woo a man, then you have to
Be beautiful.
respect. No. I'm saying about the needs. Women are very, very good and about vocalizing their needs from a man.
Yes.
I need words of affirmation. I need you to hear me. Don't solve my problems. Just listen to me.
I need your
Yeah, I
time.
need your time. Like how many times every man has heard all of these lessons all of his life. Women have been told one very simple thing: just be beautiful, and men will want you. I don't think women have been told, generally speaking, what men really want and need, because men also have wants and needs beyond just wanting to be with a pretty woman, right?
Yeah.
It's like men want to be respected. Men want to feel
they
like
want loyalty.
they want loyalty. They want also be prepped up, like they want their ego boost,
Sure.
So the flip side of this conversation is like when you are reaching out to men, do you also say, "Oh my God," you like when the guy wrote, it's like, you have such a way with words, or
Oh, I
you're
totally
such an
do.
accomplished
Yeah.
man, right? Those are the things that might also be useful for men to hear. In
Oh,
this day and age.
I
Yeah.
100% do.
Yeah.
Apparently, Carrie goes, that's bullshit. I'm just kidding. Stop bullshitting me.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I absolutely
Right? Yeah.
respond to that. And then I return the favor. And then sometimes I question whether the man's just like, girl, hold up, like ease
Right.
up, because
Yeah.
maybe I'm
coming on too strong.
I'm
Yeah.
coming on too strong. Like, oh my God, I'm in love with the way you talk. I can totally tell your personality. I think that's super attractive to me. Maybe they're just like, we haven't even gone to coffee yet, and this girl's like all over me. Like, and I think this points to the problem that we all have, right? Like, we communicate differently, even just among the four of us. We can't land on what it is that make all of our boats float. Like for me, I want to hear "Good morning, beautiful" and "Good
Yeah.
night, sweetie." You know, I'll be dreaming about you. And then Alex and Carrie barf.
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying the timing has to be
Yeah,
right.
I agree with
Right.
Alex. Same.
Like the first date, oh, beautiful, how are you? It's like,
No, no, yeah. No,
Yeah.
you don't want to be like, Casanova. But I mean, to me, there's no harm in somebody saying,
You mean if I approach a woman at a bar, I shouldn't be like, "Hello, beautiful. What's your favorite drink?" No? It's like that doesn't work.
no, that would be inappropriate and creepy.
And creepy.
Yeah.
See, I feel the same. I feel it's like creepy, like from the beginning, like, "Hey, beautiful." Like if it's a genuine compliment, if somebody's like, "Wow, I love your haircut," like which I hear that from time to time. That I'm like, okay, well, that's something that's genuine. It's not just a generic "Hey, beautiful." I think like the "Hey, beautiful," they can fucking say that to anybody and everybody, and it's just the same boring go-to line.
Right, but it's not. But it's not. So generic is usually not good, but specific, certain kind of specific, right? You can say, "Oh my God, you have beautiful eyes," versus, "Oh my God, that ass on you." Like that's.
Right.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, come
Hey.
on. Yes.
No, I'm just trying to clarify here. Like we're talking
Like-
specifics, but tasteful statistics.
Well,
is
yeah.
Okay,
specific.
like
Clearly.
Carrie said, if you're genuine about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I am genuine about it. I just don't say it out loud.
You're like, you said it with your eyes. Stop looking. No, but this is very interesting because okay, so now I want to know what rules you have. So, Carrie, is there a rule at which you're like, you've just turned into a pen pal, I'm left swiping on you, and Alex, same thing? What cadence, what rhythm do you like when it comes to too much texting, too little texting, too quick to get out the door, too slow to get out the door?
I think for me, it's like the quality of the conversation. So like if there's like a good a good conversation that's rolling, and you're actually exchanging like information about each other, and you're genuinely like getting to know that person, and there's some like a want for knowledge more than just how was your day, or where do you live on island, or what's your favorite restaurant. So if there's some depth, then yeah, it can continue on. But if it's a "Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?" It's like, "What's up" is bye-bye. Like, see ya.
Oh, God,
That's what's
I
up.
know.
Like endless chit chat. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just a
Yeah.
waste of everybody's
Like,
time.
I
you
don't
up
need
to?
friends. I got plenty of friends that I want to hang out with. Like,
Right.
this is just not.
What up? No.
I don't think there's a rule in terms of length of how long you communicate. It's whatever you feel. You could you could text someone, and next day you could meet with the person.
Yeah.
Something in common, something very interesting, or even somebody in common, so you know who the person is, maybe. Or you could. I don't want to go longer than maybe 2 weeks though.
Yeah. I'd say
Texting
that's about
each
right.
other. It's like, and sometimes they play games. They don't. I use an app called Kakao, and I could tell whether the person has checked the message or not.
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa!
And so I don't care how busy you are, but if you don't check your message for like 2-3 days, then you're just playing games.
But wait, some of
Basically.
us are like really busy. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
like, if I'm on
I don't
travel,
know. I
I'm
don't know
not
about
on
that.
dating apps when I'm on travel.
Oh no! I'm talking about Kakao.
Oh.
Yeah.
We exchanged numbers
Oh,
and
okay,
everything,
I see
so
what
we
you're
start we continue the conversation on a
But the
different
truth,
app.
the truth of the matter is, if we're completely frank about this, is that if you are truly interested in someone, I don't care how busy you are, you
Yeah.
are going to feel an urgency to get back to this woman.
Yes.
If I
Yeah.
loved her profile and we had good banter for a couple of days, like I'm gonna want to see her as soon as possible. And if she texts me, I can be in the middle of a meeting. If I'm really hot and heavy about this woman, I will take 10 seconds of the meeting and I'll text
Yeah.
her back,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Versus I might be, she might be interesting. Like, it's not even about the looks. Let's say, like, there might be something there. I'm not quite sure. I'm not feeling it. Then I might look at this like, oh, I'll respond later. And then my day gets busy. And then tomorrow I forget to text her back. And then 2-3 days, I can totally see that scenario. Now, neither of them are necessarily any indication of long-term relationship, right? That person that I did not feel immediate chemistry with, that for some reason I didn't respond 2-3 days because it wasn't a fire burning and I didn't feel that urgency. by circumstance, let's say I do meet and we go on a date and I fall madly in love with her, like, 2-3 months down the road. That could happen as well. And the person that you feel really hot and heavy about might fizzle out about after 2 weeks. But I think that's why it's really hard to make these generalizations. Like, I don't think 2 to 3 days, somebody not responding back, I can see, unless it's like Giselle Bundchen, texted me or something, I would immediately respond to that.
Yeah.
Not only because it's Giselle, but because I know who she is. And I said,
Because she's hot.
right,
Yeah.
she's hot. But, on any given day, like if life gets in the way, I can see going 2-3 days, and I wouldn't necessarily read too much into that 2-3 days necessarily.
If you do like somebody, like you said, there's not one person that would not have the urge
Correct.
to
Yeah. Right.
check their phone to see if they texted you, check their phone to see if you can text them back, right? So if somebody's like just delaying responding to you, that means that they're not thinking about you as well, or
they're playing a game.
or they're playing a game
Right.
so that they don't look like
They're desperate. Yeah.
they're desperate
Right.
and they're responding to you
Right.
too quickly.
Yeah, because we have all seen those conversations in movies. People say, like, what's an appropriate amount of time to call somebody right after the first date? Or it's
Right.
like there are protocols, and people think, I don't want to seem too desperate, but I also don't want to, it's finding the
that
balance.
night.
Yeah.
That night, I think that's if you met up with the person for the first time and then you feel interested, I think that night is the right time to say, hey, good night. That's it. I
Yes.
got home safe, and I hope you had a good time. I had a good time, so
Yeah, but sometimes
good night.
that is, I agree with you 100%. That is a correct way to behave. But I think sometimes people can second guess themselves, right? So I like the girl so much, but if I text her tonight, I don't want to come on too strong. I don't want to scare her off. I don't think. I don't
Yeah,
want her to think
that's
that-
bullshit.
And then you start
Women want to
overthinking.
hear
Right.
that
That's
was a
game.
wonderful
That's
date.
playing
Thank you
game.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people do overthink it.
I
That's
know
what
they
I'm
do.
saying.
Yeah, and that's when I swipe left.
Very unforgiving. It's like, you left.
Yeah, you're playing a game. I can read that. All right.
Is that like that Seinfeld?
See you
like,
later.
No soup for you.
No soup for you. No Jinah soup for you tonight, or ever. Well, this was great, guys. I don't think we solved anything.
I think we solved a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I every time I talk, and we do an episode, I'm always reminded of how different we all are, right?
Right.
And so, and that reinforces to me why the apps are the way they are, because even among a circle of 4 people who all know each other and are very good friends, we all have different ideologies of what is appropriate, when is it appropriate, what is appropriate, like,
Right.
so yeah. But I would date both of you. I would,
What?
yeah. I would, yeah. Mostly.
You guys didn't realize this, but this whole podcast is about pimping Jinah out. To,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I this is how I line up
Let's hear your
dates.
motives.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you know?
Yeah.
Can we
Kari-
be pimp too?
Daniel's my pimp,
Oh,
just very mildly disguised. Kidding. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. And this has been another really fun episode of I Hate Dating Apps.
Yeah.
Have a good day, everybody.
You can't love with them.
Can't live without him. Right, guys? All
Thank you,
right.
guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye.
bye-bye.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience, and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.